morning, Arnold Shushat here, and I'm with Mateus Monteagudo. I'm a realtor in British Columbia, and I practice here, and I am involved with venture capital and property technology companies. And Mateus is from Spain and is the founder and CEO of Mellifex, an online digital escrow company that provides security to instantaneous blockchain transactions, something that's sorely needed in the market. To give you, the listener and the watcher, some context here, I'm going to go back to my first airplane ticket that I bought online in 1980 something, where I thought, I beat the system. And you can see how consumers have just loved taking control of their purchases and doing it themselves. And it went so far as adopting portals and giving all their information away to whether it's MSN or Yahoo, and really thinking that they're controlling everything. And when all the while, over the last 20, 30 years, these companies have been building up. They've been watching you. You've been giving out all your data. And there's a resurgence of independence in the market where users are saying, I don't want to give up everything. I don't want to have credit cards on there. I want to keep my privacy and my security. And if I want to deal with Mateus from Richmond, British Columbia, I'm going to deal with him directly. As a matter of fact, I'm working with a platform now that will host this meeting without them being involved. A blockchain video conference. So nobody, I don't have to use Zoom, and I don't need it. It's party to party, and the system pays for itself. Well, this is causing opportunity. It gives us opportunities of going peer-to-peer in payments, but it also is causing pause. As they say, whenever big money changes hands, there's a lawyer there to facilitate the transaction, take a little bit for himself. And with banks, we had that. If you want to deal with someone in a foreign country and ship them millions of widgets and they're going to send you money, at some point you're going to wonder whether the boxes are going to come empty or whether you're going to get what you paid for. Banks always stood as sureties. They trust each other. They have an international settlement mechanism, just like Mellifex is proposing with the International Blockchain Arbitration Society. There'll be a settlement mechanism, but it'll still allow peer-to-peer. You wouldn't have to rely on the fact that your bank knows their bank, therefore you should give up 7% of the value of your transaction through a confirmed letter of credit. So it's irrevocable, but if the bank's going to get hurt, it could be revocable. Here, we're dealing with blockchain and it's instantaneous, but we're looking for a mechanism. So the market now has gone from having an intermediary and an oligarch to wanting a peer-to-peer transaction. That causes problems because it's so instantaneous that there may be risk that you didn't get what you thought you get, and it's over. Enter Mellifex. And I'm here today with Mateus Monteagudo on the left, top, maybe on my screen he's on the left with the glasses. And I'm with Ignacio Ferrer Bonson Hernandez on the bottom. Mateus is the founder and CEO of Mellifex, an escrow payment system for blockchain transactions to provide additional security. And Ignacio is the president of the International Blockchain Arbitration Society. I got the name right. Both concepts here, both organizations are designed to increase security in a system that has people wondering what the security actually is. Because of time constraints, I'm going to ask Ignacio to tell us about what that society does, where it fits into dispute mechanisms in comparison to conventional arbitration dispute mechanisms, because he's going to have to leave. And then we're going to get into what Mellifex does and how unique their product is. Take it away, Ignacio. Tell us about
Okay. Hi. Okay, Blockchain Arbitration Society is an association, legal association based in Spain, but it works internationally, and our main goal is to solve disputes in the crypto world. So we have specialized arbitrators, and in the case of Mellifex, Matthias can agree some of how it works, this payment system. If there is a problem in the transaction, in the crypto payment, then there is an ultimate case position that blockchain arbitration society will solve this problem. More or less, that's the idea of BAS, Blockchain Arbitration Society. As I said before, it's a legal association and it follows and complies with the Convention of New York 1958. So all these solutions, they come into force in its jurisdiction. So I think it's the best way to have law in the crypto world worldwide, and the same for everyone.
Now, you could be watching this and saying, I don't know what he's talking about. If the transaction happens in an instant, where do we go? How do we even know who the person is if it's an instant thing? So that's where Mellifex comes in. Mellifex is like an escrow that allows you to have a pause and perhaps an exit, even though all the terms of the bargain have been transacted and it's ready to execute. In fact, it has executed. It's just in suspension, like a conventional escrow, but it happens in blockchain. So consider it, instead of having an instantaneous transaction, it's got a suspension with a condition that everybody approves finally. So I hope I didn't steal your thunder, Mateus, but you're a good teacher.
Oh, no. That's very good.
So,
no, so
you want to add something to that?
Yeah, you have said it perfectly. I just would like to add that unlike with a conventional escrow, basically we didn't want to replicate the risk profile in terms here of counterparty risk mostly that conventional escrow has. When you have an account manager, you have these vulnerabilities associated to this. So what we did was taking this account manager out of the picture and basically substituted for a dedicated smart contract that only the parties to the escrow really interact with it. Obviously, if things go wrong, there are several security mechanisms for transactions under $10,000. There is a time lock. For transactions over that or equal to that, there is the Blockchain Arbitration Society. But obviously, this is something that the parties need to approve. Obviously, they can always solve the, if they have some disagreement, they can solve it amicably. And if that's not possible, that's when the Blockchain Arbitration Society kicks in.
We've got two layers of protection here. And I know, Ignacio, you have to go. So I just want to get this down, and we'll reorder this. Once you leave, I'll reorder it in editing. But the cool part is this. In the olden days, face to face, you'd think about it, you don't know whether the deal's going to go through. It could take weeks. Right? That's the way it is. You do your deal, and then that's it. Buyer beware, caveat emptor. Now you have blockchain. You put your hand in a cash window, you take it out, the window shuts like a guillotine. That's it. That makes some people nervous, especially if it's not a commodity that's like a unit of Bitcoin or something like that. If it's a piece of property, it makes them nervous. Maybe they don't know the maintenance records. Maybe they want to check more things out. So now you've got an escrow which causes a delay on purpose to enable some breathing room as a primary defense to the integrity and security of the transaction without a third party. Secondly, and that's why Ignacio's here, in the event of a dispute, you have, through a smart contract, an automatic adoption of an international arbitration mechanism, which is judicially recognized in most legal systems in the world, that conforms to an existing international convention, to make sure that nothing goes wrong, even with the escrow. So there's a dispute mechanism. These are two areas in law and in transactions which have people worried these days, and you can see it in the news. So you're hitting a nerve. You're hitting a nerve when it comes to risk and risk management and property transfer, and it's a question that gets answered because there's no third party, there's no banking relationship, there's nothing. So I think that's a huge a huge contribution to the market. I thank you two guys. Ignacio, if you have to go, this would be a good time, and
Yes,
I'll
thank you.
continue with Matthias.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
for taking the time to meet me.
Bye-bye,
Thank
Ignacio.
you.
Have a good day.
So tell us a little bit about your company. How many people are working there? How long have you been in business? What are your aspirations and your goals? And what do you need to make it successful?
So basically, the company is 1 year old. We launched our first products about half a year ago, really. First, we focused on the more infrastructural part, this being white label API integrations, as we not always need to be the main characters. We can just provide infrastructure. But lately we have launched this product, which is a peer-to-peer escrow gateway, which doesn't require any form of integration and is very easy to use, of course, for all sorts of professionals in need of an escrow. Basically, Mellifex LLP as a company, it has 3 owners. We have a small team. We, of course, have a few people collaborating with us in addition to those 3. And basically, at this point, we are looking for 2 things mostly. One is education, is basically collaborating with people that would like to be trained into best practices, enter this promising blockchain technology. And the second is following with our first intentions is hopefully collaborating with systemically important payment systems, so that we can serve a lot of different parties and really go mainstream. Because of course, as of now, it's more of a specialty. We want to go beyond that.
So, challenge I have is when you say education, to me, that's not something that makes money. It's something that costs money. What you're basically saying is advertising. You need to get the market to understand that your product exists. So that's what, and where it fits into, basically you take this video that we're having here and you send it to 20 million people and we're there if they watch it cover to cover, right? We should do a follow-up on your system, sharing your screen, showing the platform, how a user would use it. And that would help, understand what the platform is, right? What do you need in resources to? And have you done a Series A, for example?
No, we have so far we have invested our own money up to date. We are not actively looking for, but obviously I don't want to discourage any potential offer, and we will consider everything. But we have not been, at least for now, actively looking for money. We might in the near future.
Are you in the revenue phase? Are you earning revenues on your system now?
We have just at the very beginning of this revenue phase.
Where would you be in volume of transactions done?
Well, it depends in terms of. Look, the new product we have, really we just launched it a little bit. As for the white label API, this is something that we do. I mean, we even deploy the smart contracts for those parties without being connected to our main smart contract.
It's a service business, right?
Yeah, so that I could not disclose, but with our more recent product, we have just launched. So this one is not producing that much yet, but it's starting to gain some traction.
So, it's not my goal to take your whole day. I think the conclusion here, for viewers who are watching this and concerned, if you're getting your news from the newspaper, you're told go back home and never use anything but a bank again, and don't you dare. And there's a battle going on right now. It's not just simply that there's been some lack of regulatory control. There's a battle for regulatory control. Don't think for a second that the established banks aren't lobbying the government. You know, okay, you want to buy crypto, let them buy it through us. They don't want to lose that business. You know, I saw a statistic about 4 months ago that says 40% of American families have invested in crypto. Well, that wouldn't have been very good timing. But if you think about every dollar that leaves the system from your bank account, is probably $9 that can't be lent by your bank. This is a crisis for banks. I mean, it's money that's leaving the system. It's as if everybody's taking money out of their banks and putting it in their mattress because it doesn't go anywhere, except for the fact that, you know, companies like FTX were lending your money. I mean, there was no safeguard. So, so at the end, the system does need some safeguards. It does need some regulation, but I don't think the peer-to-peer objective, that purity that's sought out by Web3 over having an oligarch intermediary, is going to go away. I think it's just going to get honed. It's going to find its way like water through a leak, and it's going to work in a good way. So,
and especially, I could say that we are seeing also, because of high interest rates, we have seen a change between a digital assets market dominated by speculators to now, which is changing, moving away from speculators to fundamentalists, to people who actually want to buy real world things with that crypto. And this is very good news, because a cryptocurrency is first and foremost a currency. So this is something that is music to our ears.
Anyway, thank you, Matthias. I'm going to try to put this together. And thank you for your time. It's great. And I'll be in touch.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.